Thousands for VE Day celebrations after the news at 10:25 tonight.
Well, now to mark the 50th anniversary of VE Day, we present Live for Peace, a Royal Gala, starting off with a street party hosted by Chris Evans.
Go, go. Go, 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 go. Good evening and welcome to St Martin's Lane. We're officially now for the next 2.5 hours. This is ITVE. There's a party going on here, but there's an even bigger party in there. You may have seen TV galas before, but you'll never have seen a TV gala like this one. Waiting backstage to help you celebrate, Rowan Atkinson, Michael Caine, Engelbert Humperdinck, Shannon Lumley, Sir David Frost, Sir Harry Seacombe, Sir John Mills, Russ Abbott, Piers Brosnan, Michael Barrymore. But of course, every great gala needs a great guest, and we've got the best guest you could ever wish for. Prince Charles, on his way to the theatre right now.
Thank you, Chris. Yes, the Prince's car is now approaching the theatre. It's coming through Admiralty Arch into Trafalgar Square. This night, 50 years ago, the square here was the scene of enormous celebration at the ending of the war in Europe, with thousands of people singing, cheering and dancing. The Prince's car rounds the square. It's going in the wrong direction, of course. The traffic usually goes the other way. It passes St Martin in the Fields Church and the National Gallery and moves up St Martin's Lane towards the London Coliseum. And here is the Prince's motorcade arriving for tonight's Royal Gala, Live for Peace. Stepping from the car, first is ex-King Constantine of Greece, accompanied by the Queen of Greece, but here is the Prince of Wales. And now the Prince is going over for a chat with those involved in our street party here in St Martin's Lane. First of all, he's being met by Major David Marshall, the conductor of the band of the Coldstream Guards, who are playing for the street party. For these children, of course, the Second World War is all distant history, but they seem to know all about it nonetheless. And they're obviously excited at a splendid opportunity to meet the Prince of Wales on this glamorous night for St Martin's Lane and the London Coliseum. And it's lovely weather here in London tonight, much the same as 50 years ago. Then, on the afternoon of VE Day in London, the temperature topped 75 degrees Fahrenheit. This evening's gala, by the way, is in aid of the Prince's Trust. The Trust was founded by the Prince of Wales in 1976, its chief aim being to help disadvantaged young people between the ages of 14 and 25 years old. They may be homeless, unemployed, abused, disabled, ex-offenders, or just had life tougher than most. We mustn't forget also present here this evening, as we saw emerging from the car, ex-King and Queen of Greece, Constantine and Anne-Marie. Watching the events as they go on outside, the Prince now moving back towards the London Coliseum for tonight's Royal Gala. A word or two with Guard of Honour. Now the Prince meets the manager of the London Coliseum, Toby Beasley. And is welcomed by John Jarvis, who's the chairman of the Prince's Trust. And 100 young people are here to meet the Prince as well, and they've all benefited from the Prince's Trust, or will do so in the future. All these young people probably feel themselves to be a long way away from the Second World War and VE Day, but this gala of celebration and commemoration of deeds carried out half a century and more ago will be of direct benefit to them and many others of the rising generation.
Well, Prince Charles is now firmly ensconced in the theatre, but as he goes to sit down at the royal box, we're going to chat to some of the people here, some of the young people. What's your name?
Jamie.
Where are you from, Jamie?
Teddington.
Teddington, nice to see you. What do you know about VE Day? What does it mean?
Basically, it's the celebration of victory in Europe.
Do you think it's important?
Very important, because otherwise we wouldn't be free today.
Lots of people lost their lives.
Exactly.
Who told you about all this?
My history teacher.
Your history teacher, what's his name?
Mr. Cox.
Let's say hello to Mr. Cox. Hello, Mr. Cox. How are you doing? Come down here. Okay. Oi! Hello. Talk to me. What's your name? What's your name?
Giovanni.
Nice to meet you, Giovanni. Where are you from? Okay, how are you celebrating today?
We're waving the Union Jack and blowing hooters.
Blowing your hooter. What does it mean, VE Day? What does it mean to you?
It means victory in Europe.
Who told you about that?
My teacher at school.
And what's your name?
Rachel.
Okay, Rachel, tell me, who was the most famous entertainer in the war years?
Dame Burrell.
Dame Burrell. Do you know any of her songs?
No.
Do you know any of her songs?
Yeah, we'll meet again.
Do you want to sing it with me?
Yeah, okay.
Sing it on your own. Go on, Giovanni.
We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day.
Now, as Giovanni carries on, I'll just say goodbye. We're going in the theatre for the greatest gala you've ever seen.
of the cause of freedom is everywhere. In all our long history, we have never seen a greater day than this. Everyone, man or woman, has done their bit. Everyone has tried, none has flinched. God bless you all.
Majesties, my lords, ladies and gentlemen, before I just make my own brief contribution to the proceedings this evening, I did just want to thank everybody for agreeing to perform here at the London Coliseum. It is enormously generous of all the stars who've come from all over the world and from various corners of the earth to be here this evening, and I am enormously grateful to them. Apart from anything else, they're going to help my Prince's Trust to do a great deal more for all sorts of young people throughout the country, which, as you can imagine, is of great importance. But I also hope that this evening, above all else, is going to enable us to remember all those heroic efforts and sacrifices made by an earlier generation, certainly my parents' generation and my grandparents' generation, many of them at the time, when you think about it, scarcely older than most of the people that my trust is helping today. Now, I wanted to read a very short poem on this occasion, which I find particularly moving, and I hope you'll feel is appropriate for the occasion. And I think it's particularly appropriate because it was a poem chosen and quoted by Sir Winston Churchill when the United States of America entered the war, and it was written in the last century by somebody called Arthur Hugh Clough. And I wanted to quote it because, more than anything else, it does remind me of Sir Winston Churchill, who I remember, believe it or not, when I was a very small child, coming to see my mother when I was very small, and I have very vivid memories of him. And I think it's particularly appropriate to recall with pride and gratitude the role that Sir Winston Churchill played in this country throughout those very dark years, when without his quite extraordinary powers of leadership and inspiration, I really don't believe, even though I was born 3 years after the war, that the country would have survived and thrown off the possibility of total domination by another country. Now, I hope, but I think this poem may sound familiar to the somewhat older members of the audience, because in those days, during the war, it was pinned up as a poster in primary schools throughout the country. It goes as follows. Say not the struggle naught availeth, the labour and the wounds are vain. The enemy faints not nor faileth, and as things have been, things remain. If hope were dupes, fears may be liars. It may be in yon smoke concealed, your comrades chase e'en now the flyers, and but for you possess the field. For while the tired waves, vainly breaking, seem here no painful inch to gain, far back through creeks and inlets reeking, comes silent, flooding in the main. And not by eastern windows only, when daylight comes in the light. In front, the sun climbs slow, how slowly, but westward, look, the land is bright. Ladies and gentlemen.
Gentlemen, will you please welcome Sir David Frost.
Your Royal Highness, thank you very, very much indeed. That's the first time that a show like this has ever begun with the top of the bill. In the last year of the war, Hitler went to an astrologer and was told that Germany would be defeated on a British bank holiday. And Hitler said, "Which day is that?" And the astrologer said, "Herr Hitler, any day you're defeated will be a British bank holiday." And so it is, and so it is. This weekend, all the talk has been about tin hats, sandbags and bunkers. And that's just at Conservative Central Office. And now, here at the Coliseum, I'd like to ask you to welcome my co-host for the evening, the woman who produced that famous television documentary profile of Prince Charles called A Prince Among Islands, which can still be seen on Sky. The island, not the TV station. Ladies and gentlemen, the face that launched 1,000 clips, Miss Selena Scott.
Thank you very much indeed, David. Your Royal Highness. 50 years ago tonight, London was in a state of glorious ecstasy. To quote the Daily Mail, rattles rattled, whistles whistled, people yelled, rockets exploded and fireworks banged. Oh, what a beautiful sight. Piccadilly was just one big, happy family.
And it's in that spirit of celebration now that we start Live for Peace with some Jive for Peace.
So prepare your heart for stopping, your mind for blowing and your toes for tapping as we welcome the Royal Gala dancers with their Jitterbug Tap. Jitterbug Tap, brilliantly choreographed by Alan Harding, who, by the way, has staged and choreographed tonight's show for us all. Now, a few years ago, our next performer was one of Canada's best-kept secrets. Today, her name is on everybody's lips. She's dominated the charts for the past year with hits like The Power of Love, and the one she's singing for us tonight, Think Twice. Please welcome Celine Dion.
you can feel like there's something wrong. You've been the sweetest part of my life for so long. And look in your eyes, there's a distant light. And you and I know there'll be a storm tonight. This is getting serious. Are you thinking about you or us? Don't say what you're about to say. Look back before you leave my life. Be sure before you close that door. Before you roll those dice. Baby, 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 think twice. Baby, think twice for the sake of my love, for the memory. The fire, the pain, that was you and me. Babe, I know what it is when your soul cries out for higher ground. 'Cause when you halfway up, you're always halfway down. But baby, this is serious. This is serious. I am thinking about you or us. Don't say what you're about to say. Look back before you leave my life. Be sure before you close that door. Before you roll those dice. Oh baby, baby, please think twice. Baby, this is serious. This is serious. I'm thinking about you or us. Baby, don't say what you're about to say. No, 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 no. Look back before you leave my life. To leave my life. Be sure before you close that door. Before you roll those dice. Don't do it, baby. No, don't do it, baby. What you're about to
Stay with us for Rowan Atkinson, Darcy Bussell, Riverdance, Michael Caine and Michael Barrymore in A Royal Gala, Live for Peace.
Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know that wouldn't like Kellogg's cornflakes? Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know that wouldn't like Kellogg's cornflakes? Have your breakfast in the better way. These Kellogg's cornflakes make your day. Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know?
On millions of breakfast tables every morning in Britain, housewives are serving breakfast the better way.
Kellogg's Cornflakes, 50 years of sunshine.
Take 1 pack of Sainsbury's Ginger Snap biscuits and crush with a rolling pin. Now, melt 2 ounces of butter and add the crumbs. Mix the butter and crumbs together and turn out into a loose-bottomed cake tin. Press down firmly. Next, empty 2 tubs of Sainsbury's mascarpone cheese into a bowl. Add 1.5 ounces of icing sugar and the juice and grated zest of 2 limes. Beat together and spoon onto the biscuit base. Now chill for 30 minutes. Meanwhile, melt some Sainsbury's dark chocolate. Dip real leaves into the chocolate and leave to harden. Remove dessert from tin and decorate. Peel off the chocolate leaves and arrange with sugared grapes. Serve with a Sainsbury's dessert wine. Absolutely delicious.
Sainsbury's, everyone's favourite ingredient.
Play instant cash. You've got a 1 in 5 chance of winning.
Did you win as well, then?
National Lottery Instant. Forget it all for an instance.
The first ever Easy Glide Rollerball Antiperspirant from Vaseline is bigger, so a stroke is all it takes.
Another day, another street in Britain, another Daz.
Presenter, thanks a lot, Daddy. Right, let's go.
You shouldn't be scrubbing at your age, Auntie.
Thanks, love. You need this for scrubbing there with plenty of that. Use one of these for rubbing that like this. And this for under here. I won't forget you for this.
If you want to get well in without all that elbow grease, what you need is new Flash with bleach. Just spray and its unique formula breaks up even cooker-top spills. While you whiz round the rest of the kitchen, then just wipe.
Marvellous! You've done all that scrubbing.
Where there's a will, there's a way. New Flash with bleach does the hard work, so you don't have to.
On May the 8th, 1945, Trafalgar Square witnessed something quite extraordinary. The outbreak of peace. To celebrate the end of the Second World War, the Royal Mint introduces this commemorative £2 coin.
Welcome back. Of course, we must remember that even everyday life was different back in 1945. That was the time when a Big Mac was something fat people wore in the rain. When a bung was something you found in a barrel and not in a football manager's back pocket. And 3 in a bed was simply a matter of how you arranged your run of beans. That was the time when the Thatcher Foundation was something she put on her face before a date with Dennis. And a church outing involved the entire congregation and not just the vicar. Of course, that was a time when getting to Paris in 3 hours on a train was just a distant dream. Well, some things never change. But one thing that has changed in the past 50 years is the nature of Europe. How appropriate, then, that we welcome now to sing the anthem of the new Europe, Ode to Joy, from Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, the distinguished British baritone, Robert Bennington.
Freude, schöne Götter, Funken, Tochter aus Elysium, Wir betreten feuertrunken, himmlische dein Heiligtum. Deine Sauber binden wieder, was die Mode streng geteilt. Alle Menschen werden Bruder, wo sein sanfter Flügel weilt. Berlin, Hamburg, Schumacher. Baden, Baden, Lederhosen, schnell, schnell, schnell. Ja, ja, nein, nein, Apfelstrudel, Hofmeister und Holstenpilz. Achtung, Liebfrau Milch in Porsche, Paar Vorsprung durch Technik. Donner und Blitzen, britischer Architekt. Tomorrow belongs to me. Schwein und Dummkopf, ein Bär bitte. Jürgen Klinsmann ist kaputt. Boris Becker, Himmel, bum, bum. Ich bin ein Berliner. Kohl in Kindergarten. Glühwein, wo ist sein Skipass? Edelweiss singt Captain von Trapp. Dankeschön, auf Wiedersehen, Pet.
The excruciatingly brilliant Rowan Atkinson. Thank you very much indeed. Now, we're all familiar with the Song of Norway, aren't we? But now it's my pleasure to introduce possibly the greatest singer that Norway has produced. In her own country, she's become something of an icon, and she's now poised on the brink of international stardom. Will you please welcome Sissel?
Bello,
Thank you very much. It's an honor for me to be here with you tonight. But I haven't come the way from Norway all alone. I brought with me some friends. Gli Scapoli.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome Michael Caine.
Rudyard Kipling lost his only son in the 1914-18 war and never lost sight of the great contribution made to the country's security by the ordinary common or garden soldier, affectionately nicknamed Tommy Atkins. I went into a public house to get a pint of beer. The publican, he up and says, "We serve no redcoats here." The girls behind the bar, they laughed and giggled fit to die. I outs into the street again, and to myself says I, "It's Tommy this and Tommy that, and Tommy go away. But it's thank you, Mr. Atkins, when the band begins to play. The band begins to play, my boys, the band begins to play. Oh, it's thank you, Mr. Atkins, when the band begins to play." Yes, making mock of uniforms that guard you while you sleep is cheaper than those uniforms, and they're starvation cheap. And hustling drunken soldiers when they're going large a bit is 5 times better business than parading in full kit. Then it's Tommy this and Tommy that, and Tommy, how's your soul? But it's thin red line of heroes when the drums begin to roll. The drums begin to roll, my boys, the drums begin to roll. Oh, it's thin red line of heroes when the drums begin to roll. You talk of better food for us and schools and fires and all. We'll wait for extra rations if you treat us rational. Don't mess about the cloakroom slops, but prove it to our face. The widow's uniform is not the soldier man's disgrace. For it's Tommy this and Tommy that, and chuck him out, the brute. But it's saviour of his country when the guns begin to shoot. And it's Tommy this and Tommy that, and anything you please. And Tommy ain't a blooming fool. You bet that Tommy sees.
Michael Caine and, of course, Rudyard Kipling. Now, tonight we're honoured, and so will you welcome, we're honoured to have with us tonight the men of the Camouflage Regiment. It is remarkable what they can do, isn't it? Will we ever see their like again? And now will you welcome, please, one of the most lustrous stars of the entire Royal Ballet. You've got a beautiful entrechat there, but you're Jimmy, you're not Darcy Bustle.
Oh, see you, David, don't see you. Let me tell you, this is a live show, it's live TV.
Oh, it is?
I love it. You see, well, I'm in the pub over the road with the lads, you see, watching the show, and I was just, I sneaked out because it was my round. And listen, now, they bet me a fiver, right, that I wouldn't have come across here, right, and talk on your haute queue.
What'll you pay me for it?
A fiver.
A fiver. If it's for the trust, all right, it's yours.
It's for the trust. But, and let me tell you, I was here this afternoon, I was watching the rehearsals, this beautiful theatre, the Coliseum. I was sitting up the stall as I halfway up the stall, sitting next to this lout, you know, this thug, legs over the seat in front of him, couldn't care less. All the way through the rehearsals, he was going, "Aah." I said, "You be quiet, son, they're trying to work on that stage." He went, "Aah." I said, "I'd shut your mouth, there's a show going up there." "Aah." I said, "Where are you from?" He said, "The balcony."
Well, there you are. Do your link then, boy. Well done.
See, you should be a talking good news to be here. Stop, good news to be so. Hello, good evening, welcome. New Celine Scott, news at 10.
Thank you very much.
All right, sir.
Jimmy, he'll be back a bit later. Right. He'll be back in a rather different guise later. Now, will you please welcome, performing the pas de deux from Manon, the lady they call the new Margot Fontaine, Darcy Bustle, and Jonathan Cope.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's Chris Evans.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Your Royal Highness. I'd just like to say I'd like people of the older generations to know that people of my generation, and much younger than me, in fact, as we saw outside earlier, are very aware of how important today is. But I still don't think I'm quite worthy of standing on this stage and introducing the next act. So I'd like to bring on somebody who I think is. Somebody who was there when this all happened, somebody who was there when there was victory in Europe, somebody who took part in the whole thing, what today's all about. Please welcome my mum.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to welcome back Mr. Ross Abbott.
Yes, indeed. Well, thank you. It's so good to be here. And tonight I'm in a big swinging mood. So all you people in the front row, get ready to duck, because I've got an awful lot to swing. Can you dig it? Let me hear you say ha. Ha. Give me another ha. Ha. Put them together. What have you got? Ha. And they said I couldn't make you laugh. There were these two Irishmen.
Fat man, no Irish jokes.
No Irish jokes. There were these two Scotsmen.
Hey, what's the matter there, fat man? You can't do any Scottish jokes now.
No Scottish jokes.
No Scottish jokes.
There were these two fairies. Well, what do you know? Isn't this a great band? The finest musicians whiskey can buy. We're so glad to see so many of you wonderful people here tonight for such a worthy cause. And remember, people, whatever you do in life to live, thrive, and survive, there's always that one certain something that makes us all the same. You, me, them, everybody. Everybody! Everybody needs somebody. Everybody needs somebody to love. Someone to love. Sweetheart to miss. Sugar to kiss. Well, I need you, you. I need you, you. I need you. In the morning when my soul's on fire. Sometimes I feel a little sad inside when my baby mistreats me. I never find a place to hide. I need you. Come on down. Hey, my people. Oh, sometimes I feel a little sad inside when my baby mistreats me. I never find a place to hide. I need you. 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 Remember, people, you do find that certain someone. Hold that woman, hold that man. Kiss him, squeeze him, give him all your love. Signify your feelings with every gentle caress. Don't you want to have somebody to hold, squeeze, please? Everybody needs somebody. Everybody needs somebody to love. Someone to love. Sweetheart to miss. Sugar to kiss. Well, I need you. I need you. I need you. I need you. Well, I need you. I need you. I need you. In the morning when my soul's on fire, when there ain't no one around, I need you. I need you. I need you. I need you. I need you.
Coming next, Bobby Devereaux, Anthony Dell, Joanna Lumley, Riverdance and Michael Barrymore, live for Peace.
Hello. Well, it's been drawing tourists off the M4 for centuries. Yes, we're off to bask in the beauty of Bath. Like an old jacket, Bath wears its history proudly. The natural springs synonymous with the city gush forth. Oh! After such a feast for the eyes, it seems only right we should sample the local cuisine. Bonjour.
We chose Greek dip medley, chicken tikka masala, red snapper Florentine, and profiterole surprise to finish.
But we couldn't leave without a visit to the ancient baths for which this city is so famous.
Beefeater Restaurants. Discover the world and eat it.
Hello? Direct line?
Direct Line Insurance. People come to us for the price, but they stay for the service. Call 0181 686 2468 for motor or 0181 686 8877 for home.
I think it'll be an adventure.
It's very quick. I'm a very poor sailor. It's wonderful.
Speed is the big difference.
On the shuttle, it's just a lot more fun.
Normally loading's only about 5-10 minutes. It's really good.
I needed quite a bit of persuasion, but I'm not sorry now.
Très confortable et on se sent en pleine sécurité.
My business is in northern France, so I can be there and back in a day.
35 minutes here, totally smooth. It was fabulous. It was good value for money and very quick, so I'd be encouraged to use it in the future.
When you get off the shuttle, there is no passport control, so you can just drive straight off into France.
We wouldn't travel any other way now.
For your shuttle brochure, call 0990 700 800.
If you want more than just clean skin, and you want to keep your skin healthy, use new Sanex Bath and Shower Gel. Sanex contains moisturizers and an antibacterial agent to help protect and keep your skin healthy. New Sanex Derma Protector helps keep skin healthy.
Now that's what I call natural beauty. Shoe Express. Help yourself to great value shoes.
In those days, I never really thought about why I ate shredded wheat, but lately I've discovered something that's really made me think. Shredded wheat has no added salt and no added sugar. That's because it's only made with 100% whole wheat. If you ask me how many other cereals could say that, I'd have to think.
Nestle Shredded Wheat and Bite Size 2.
You won't find a better cereal.
No problem for the powerful Flymo Ventura. It can tackle the longest of grass with the greatest of ease. And its unique grass box even tells you when it's eventually full. So powerful, it's as if the garden lends a hand.
The Sailor's Hornpipe, performed by the children of the Royal Ballet School. And now, Barry Cryer and William Rushton call themselves the Two Old Tarts, as Will Carling might have put it. But unfortunately didn't. Anyway, here they are, ladies and gentlemen, in the flesh, Barry Cryer and William Rushton.
Good evening. Good evening. We're just filling in before the silence. This is the story of my life. Only 2 minutes is slightly longer than we normally get.
Nostalgia is the keynote. Grand old songs from the Second World War. But they were censored in those days, ladies and gentlemen, to avoid inflaming or disturbing the civilian population.
We didn't have microphones in those days. You know, they were melted down and put into railings.
Indeed they were. Indeed they were. Here are those grand old songs.
No, they're not.
Well, no, there's worrying
we haven't
words.
got time to do
We
all
haven't
that.
got time
No,
for that.
they're not.
Haven't we, oh dear?
No, alas.
One gets older.
I know. Words. You used to be rationed in those days. We used to have word wardens going around saying, cut that adjective. Sir Winston Churchill used most of them, of course. It's a bloody sound investment when you look back on it.
Yes. Tommy Handley now. Tommy Handley now, of course, chairman of the Tory party.
Well, as we speak.
As we speak, yeah. Glenn Miller, the cheeky chappie. Oh, here's David.
Gentlemen, I'm sorry to interrupt you at this point, but as you know, it's 8:37 right now.
Yes, sir.
So we have to move to that particular moment. So
I know when
may we apologise?
Not at all.
Not at all.
And may we thank you very much?
Thank you, David.
From the bottom of our
Thank
hearts.
you.
Now we join the Queen and here at the Coliseum, Prince Charles, in observing the 2-minute silence in honour of those sons and daughters of this land who never experienced the end of World War II. So can we all please rise together and honour all those who died in war that we could live in peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pierce Brosnan.
The London Adventist choral with Abide With Me. As an Irishman myself, I'm particularly proud of something extraordinary that happened at the Point Theatre in Dublin last year during the interval of RTE's Eurovision Song Contest. Nobody now remembers the winning Eurovision song, but no one who's seen it will ever forget that exhilarating interval performance. Such was its success that it's now been developed into a full stage show, composed by Bill Whelan, featuring 24 Irish dancers, Jean Butler, Michael Flatley, and Anuna. Please welcome Riverdance.
with us were Engelbert Humperdinck, Anthony Dell and Margaret Porter, Joanna Lumley and Sir Harry Seacombe in A Royal Gala, Live for Peace.
When the lights go on again all over the world, and the boys
It looked like a party, but it was more a giant sigh of relief. There were smiles, but if you looked closely, the eyes were often sad. 50 years later, we remember the celebrations and honour those who didn't make them, but made them possible.
from the skies above.
We still behave badly to one another, but there hasn't been a Third World War. And in Northern Ireland, the Middle East and South Africa, people who were once fighting are now talking. And while there is talk, there is hope.
It's a lovely day tomorrow. Tomorrow is a lovely day.
Constantly looking for ways to make meal times more exciting? Don't worry. There is an easier way. New Hellmann's Dijonnaise sauce. It's a blend of Hellmann's mayonnaise and mustard that livens up everything from salads to sandwiches. Of course, not everyone's discovered it yet. Hellmann's Dijonnaise sauce puts a zing into anything.
Your antiperspirant may be effective, but that's only half the story.
A breakthrough from Vaseline Research.
Vaseline scientists have taken their skincare experience and put it to the ultimate test, creating the first ever antiperspirant from Vaseline that is powerful yet skin-friendly. It contains Proderma, a unique skin-caring complex, which helps keep your skin healthy. Powerful yet skin-friendly protection from Vaseline Intensive Care.
If you're choosy about your cheese, and picky about your pickle, and your bread's got to be 100% white, it's got to be 100% Hovis. Yes, it's Hovis. Yes, it's white. And yes, unfortunately, so's his shirt.
Yo, Granny, I'm CC Chopper, the lollipop rapper, and I'm here to tell you about Chopper Chops, the great tasting world's #1 lollipop. Go sweet crazy about the ice cream, fruit, and super sour flavors. It's Chopper Chops for crucial chops. Chopper Chops, sweet bread.
Wonderful idea of yours, Atkins, to test the new luxury Astra CDX in the desert.
Yes, it was because of my idea for the air conditioning, you see.
How could I forget it?
And the CDJD, the MD loved that idea.
I'll bet she did. Oh, but Atkins, we're forgetting that other great idea of yours.
Oh? What?
Well, comparing the luxury of driving a CDX against a more basic form of transport.
Oh, yes.
Are you sure this is my idea, JD?
Oh, come, Atkins. Modesty.
Oh, sorry, JD. Oh, just a wee second. Wait a wee second. Oh.
Tonight, of course, is a night for nostalgia. Those of us who are old enough will never forget that day 50 years ago when Allied Carpets announced their first sale, which is still on, but it must end on Saturday. And indeed that historic ad for Myers Comfortable Beds, which read, quote, "Myers Comfortable Beds, the bed you can be proud of every time you make it." They did awfully well. Back in 1945, two words which probably weren't on everybody's lips were absolutely and fabulous. And certainly not together. But now they simply mean Miss Joanna Lumley. Beloved. Now, you're not really here as an actress tonight. You're here as an author.
That's right.
And researcher.
That's right, because about 2 years ago, the Imperial War Museum invited me to write a book to accompany one of their major exhibitions, which was called Forces Sweethearts, and it was about wartime love and romance from the First World War right up to the Gulf War. Now, we put out advertisements on the television, on the radio, newspapers, and said, "Can you share your memories with us?" And the response was overwhelming. Thousands of people sent in photographs, letters, memorabilia, and things that they'd written at the time to remember those extraordinary days. One particularly reminded me of the happiness of the end of the war. It was written by Anne, a young woman in the ATS. She and her soldier sweetheart, Jim Roscoe, a desert rat from Tobruk, mingled with the excited crowds in London on VE Day, the 8th of May, 1945. They're still happily married today, but this is what Anne wrote when she was 21. Everyone had been given staggered leave to celebrate victory in Europe. Jim found his way to my camp, and we decided that London was the place to be, right in the centre of the celebrations. We went to Piccadilly Circus and Buckingham Palace. I was giddy and heady with the most wonderful feeling. It was fireworks, thunder and lightning, electricity all at the same time. For the soldier linking my arm, this was the culmination of years abroad, victory and a new life. The crowds danced and sang right through to Buckingham Palace, thousands and thousands of merry people, arm in arm. The atmosphere was electric. Everyone was so happy, all going along together, goodness knows where. We just went. I'll never forget that day, the wonderful feeling of exhilaration, youth, relief, longing, feelings of utter joy that life could begin in earnest. I was in love with living and that soldier linking my arm.
was Dancing in the Dark with Anthony Dowell and Marguerite Porter, choreographed by Gillian Ling. Now, our next guest became a star quite literally overnight, 27 years ago, when he appeared on Sunday night at the London Palladium singing a little number called Release Me. Since then, he's sold a phenomenal 130 million records. He's earned 64 gold discs, 23 platinum, and has the rare distinction of being the only international star whose name is worth 179 points at Scrabble. I think you've got it. Please welcome Engelbert Humperdinck.
Please release me and let me go, for I don't love you anymore. To waste our lives would be a sin. Release me and let me love again. I have found a new love, dear, and I will always wander near. Her lips are warm while yours are cold. Release me, my darling, let me go. Please release me, can you see? You'd be a fool to cling to me, to let the light bring us pain. So release me and let me love again. Let me go. Thank you very much. And I'm really happy to be home for this very special occasion and this very special day. And now, with your kind permission, I'd like to do a song for my latest release. Here it is. Thanks, John. Now shout it from the highest hill, even told the golden daffodils. At last, my heart's an open door, and my secret love's no secret anymore. Once I had a secret love that lived within the heart of me, and all too soon my secret love became impatient to be free. So I told a friendly star the way that dreamers often do, just how wonderful you and why I'm so in love with you. Now I shout it from the highest hill, even though the road and daffodil. At last my heart's an open door, and my secret love's no secret anymore, and my secret love's no secret anymore.
Coming up, Sir John Mills, Bobby Davro, Vanessa May and Michael Barrymore, live for Peace.
Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know that wouldn't like Kellogg's cornflakes? Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know that wouldn't like Kellogg's cornflakes? Have your breakfast in the better way. These Kellogg's cornflakes make your day. Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know?
On millions of breakfast tables every morning in Britain, housewives are serving breakfast the better way.
Kellogg's Cornflakes, 50 years of sunshine.
The actual size of a Jolly Rancher candy is 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters square. But the actual taste is immeasurable. Jolly Rancher candy, the great taste of fruit, squared.
Well, I reckon it's that dodgy inlet valve again, Dad. That one.
I thought you two could do with a break.
Ah, tea for the workers, eh, Dad? Hold on a minute. Those aren't proper mini rolls. He won't like them. He's such an old fusspot.
At Safeway, we're so confident about the quality of all our own brand products that if you don't prefer them, we'll give you your money back and a replacement.
Oh, no, he likes them.
Oh, they're very good.
Well, that's a bit of a shame, actually. I'd already worked out what to spend the refund on.
Refund and replace at Safeway.
12,000 free parking spaces and over 300 shops, all under one roof. Lakeside Shopping Centre. The sooner you get here, the better.
Heartburn. Get Bisodol Heartburn. Fast-acting relief plus a special ingredient for lasting protection. It acts fast and lasts.
Felix! Stop that! Okay, I give up.
Cats like Felix. Like Felix.
Fight mildew with new Duck Mildew Remover to leave your bathroom mildew-free. New Duck Mildew Remover.
When you're up against it, it's all the good things in a Mars, like milk, glucose, malt, and thick, thick chocolate that really gives you the taste for it.
Welcome back. Historians say that Hitler apparently knew it was the end when the Russians opened a barrage on the Brandenburg Gate and the Americans opened a McDonald's on the Königstrasse. And Churchill said, we would fight them on the beaches. Now, of course, we're fighting them on the sunbeds as well. And now we come to an introduction that is a great pleasure for me to give, because in 1945, a young actor in a wartime film created a great stir when he recited a poem consisting of just 12 brief lines. 12. The film was This Way to the Stars. The poem was Johnny Head in Air by John Pudney. The young actor was John Mills. Here is that same young actor, 50 years on, to recite that poem again.
Do not despair for Johnny Head in Air. He sleeps as sound as Johnny Underground. Fetch out no shroud for Johnny in the cloud, but keep your tears for him in after years. Better by far for Johnny the bright star to keep your head and see his children fed.
Sir John said that in addition to his own career in the army, that in fact he worked out in movies. He also spent 6.5 years in the war, in the Navy as well. So he's got a double record. And now, at this point in the proceedings, we're going to explain what's been going on here.
In fact, David, as everyone knows, we've been listening to Chaz and Dave during the commercial break, and we thought it was time you at home had a chance to sing along as well.
That's right. So right now, will you settle back for some rock and roll, some fun games from, there they are up there looking absolutely magnificent. Here's the apostrophe, Chaz and Dave.
Now come on, sing up, you know these. Here we go, 1, 2, 3. We're gonna rang and the washing on the sacred line. Have you any dirty washing, mother dear? We're gonna rang and the washing on the sacred line, 'cause the washing day is here. The weather may be wet or fine, we'll just run along without a care. We're gonna rang and the washing on the sacred line, and the sacred line's still there. Kiss me goodnight, Sergeant Major, come on, tuck me in your little wooden bed. We'll love you, Sergeant Major, when we hear your bowling shoveling. Don't forget to wake me in the morning and bring me round a nice hot cup of tea. Kiss me goodnight, Sergeant Major, Sergeant Major, be a mother to me. Underneath the lamplight by the barricade, darling, I remember the way we used to wait. There that you whispered tenderly that you love me, you'll always be my lily of the lamplight, my own lily, my light. Come on, here, guys. Roll down the barrel, we got a barrel of fun. Roll down the barrel, we got the blues on the run. Sing on the barrel, let's have a song of good cheer. Now the doctor roll the barrel, 'cause the gang's all in. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds far away. That's better. So won't you please say
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome the Pendragons.
Good evening, I'm Jonathan Pendragon, and we have one more illusion for you that's very, very fast. So we'll give you this. Keep your eyes on us. Don't look away. Don't even blink, because if you do, you will miss it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bobby Davro.
Thank you very much. Good evening and welcome here. Or as young Joe Pasquale would say, la 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 la. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to professional show business. Ha ha. Here's a trick that Paul Daniels can't do. Right. Fella down the front can't do it either. It's nice to be in. I won't be on long because I left the dog with the next door neighbours and their Cantonese. And I said to Michael Caine in the wings, I said, I've only got 5 minutes, Michael, what should I do? He said, look, listen, borrow my glasses, he said. Go out there, do some impressions with the glasses. So that's what I'm going to do. Is he laughing? Right, I'm going to do impressions with glasses. Frank Carson, in here, tell him, that's a cracker. How do you know when an Irish fella's been using the word processor? There's Tipex on the TV screen. Ronnie Corbett. It's lovely to be here, wouldn't it be? I said to my wife, I said, darling, let's make love the way we used to. She said, over my dead body. I said, nothing's changed. Marty, listen, turn it in, will you? Turn it in. What? I'm in a pub the other day, ladies and gentlemen, I'm in a pub, all of a sudden a brain walks in, brain, I'll repeat that, brain. He walks up to the bar, he said, I want a pint of bitter. The barman said, I'm not serving you, and the brain said, why? And the barman said, you're out your head, pal. Oh, it's me, Neil McCuskell here. Just time for a quick gale warning. Gale, get out of my flat, the wife's coming home. Hello everybody, it's me, John Cole here, parliamentary comedian. I say. What's John Major's underpants and Leicester Football Club got in common? They're both sat at the bottom of the Premier. Oh, that's very funny, isn't it? Hello everybody, it's me, your Premier here. Please don't stand up. Yes, it's lovely to be here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, at the Coliseum. To look out there at a capacity audience. I tried to get tickets to Norma myself. I said to the manager, any tickets? He said, there's no seats left. I said, I know the feeling. Somebody said to me, John, how do you get a small business? I said, buy a large one and wait. Thank you. In America, they have Johnny Cash, Bob Hope, Stevie Wonder. In this country, what have we got? No cash, no hope, it's no wonder. Remember the words of that famous man. We'll fight them on the beaches. We'll fight them on the shores. We'll fight them in the air. Of course, Eric Cantona. But when the going gets tough, it won't bother me. When my back's up against the fence, it won't bother me. Not unless I get paint on my anorak. When the Germans decide to take over the whole world by throwing a huge towel over it, it won't bother me. If the Argentinians try to get their revenge by taking all the keys off the tins of corned beef, it still won't bother me. None of these things will bother me. Why? I'll tell you why. Because Tony Blair would be Prime Minister then. Thank you. Thank you very much. How are we doing for time? Right. I haven't got enough time. We're going to do a song to end with, ladies and gentlemen. This is a song very close to my heart. It's called Kidneys. Here we go. It's... reminds me, have you been watching Coronation Street? Hey, Deirdre, I give you my kidneys, Deirdre. I love you, Deirdre. This song then for Deirdre. I used to... Have you seen him? If he's an actor, I'll drop my trousers in B-jams. Hello. I do this song for Deirdre. I used to go out with a girl called Lorraine, but I no longer go out with Lorraine. I now go out with Deirdre. The song is called I Can See Deirdre Now. Lorraine is gone. We do a few singing impressions. Start with Cliff. Just you know why you and I will by and by not too long ways. Frank Sinatra. Sometimes we'll cry, ring-a-ding. Sometimes we will sigh. Cleo Lane. I don't know why. Just you and I. Don't you love ways. Shirley Bassey. Throughout the thank you. Ways. Johnny Mathis will bring us joys to share with those who really care. Oh yeah. Sometimes a Laura, Laura fall. We'll meet again. I don't know where. I don't know where. No true love. Thank you very much. Good night. God bless you. No true love way.
This is a quote from the Daily Express in June 1943, quote, "Women's clothing will be held up until the needs of all seagoing personnel have been met." That's your thought for the week. When she was 11, the young woman that you're about to meet was described by the director of the Royal College of Music as a true child prodigy like Mozart and Mendelssohn. No longer a child, she's now a grand old lady of 16. Will you welcome the phenomenal Vanessa May?
Stay with us live at the London Coliseum for Sir Harry Seacombe, the Mass Choirs and Michael Barrymore in a Royal Gala live for peace.
Delicious. delicious pizza with just 50 different toppings.
If you're suffering from a pizza craving, the answer is 999. For £9.99 at Pizza Hut, you get any large speciality pizza, garlic bread and Pepsi. Available to pick up, have delivered or eat in.
Oh, I just got the harvest in and I'm starving. Where's my dinner? Something different tonight, farmer. What is it? This Kiev be right tasty. Who made it?
He still hasn't guessed.
Oh, it's Linda McCartney.
Linda won't let anything but the best of the harvest be used in her special recipes. That's why they're so tasty.
He certainly seems to think so.
You don't have to cut back on taste with Linda McCartney's range of meat-free meals.
Experience a unique ice cream. Ranieri. Nothing looks like it, tastes like it, feels like it. Its smooth creaminess embraces a rich velvety center, making it utterly absorbing. Ranieri, so intensely ice cream.
Dove contains neutral cleansing ingredients and 1/4 moisturizing cream.
When you're sailing to the continent, choose the company with the biggest name.
A legacy explored.
As I might not return, I think it's only right that you should have a letter from me.
Last Letters Home, Tuesday 10:40 on Carlton.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next performer was born in Bermondsey in the 1950s. Think of that, from Bermondsey to the Coliseum in just 40 short years.
And you can't blame all of it on London transport. Here he is to explain what took him so long. Will you welcome Michael Barrymore?
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Welcome. That entrance was longer than the war. Thank you. Nice to see everybody. Now, may I just explain a few things? Good evening, everybody out there in radio and TV land. Welcome to the show. Now, tonight at this particular spot was supposed to be Vera Lynn. At this particular juncture, and I'm here taking place for Vera tonight. Now, the reason that Vera's not here this evening is, quite honest with you, and I believe it's only fair to be honest in show business, she was trouble. It started in rehearsals, and I think it's only fair that you know what went on. It started, she was going to do it, and she was just trouble. So, For those of you that know what I do for a living, no explanation is needed whatsoever. For those of you that don't know what I do for a living, I'm the Commemorative mug. Okay. Well, and by the way, Vera's not Vera Lynn, that's a stage name. Her real name's Violet, but she got fed up with called Violin, so she wasn't into that. So I'm here for an hour. Now, I think it's only fair. I have a reputation for being absolutely honest about what goes on in this business. I think it's only fair. You've had to sit through this, and you've been very good. And I should explain what happened. Now, Vera came out at the beginning of the rehearsal period, and she came up to the musical director, Mr. Coleman. I'll call him Mr. Coleman. She said, "Coley," she said, "I'll do Bluebirds Over and We'll Meet Again in G." He said, "I've written it in C." She said, "I'll do it in G." And you know, the atmosphere, everybody went, "Oh, Vera's going in. Here we go, here it comes, the other side of Vera." "Calm down." He said, "Don't you tell me to calm down." He said, "I want it in G." He said, "I've written it in C." She said, "Do you know who I am?" He said, "Do you know what I do for a living?" And he grabbed her by the throat. And the whole bit of, "Oh, what is he doing to Vera Lynn?" And he took her outside, bunged her in the back of his car, drove her down to the White Cliffs of Dover, backed her up to the cliff, took her out the boot, drop-kicked her into the English Channel, and he said, "It'll be some sunny day before we'll meet again, Vera," and off. It was frightening, so that's my idea. And may I say, Dame Vera, it's an honour to be in your place. Thank you very much. We are very good friends. Now, some of you have been out this evening that are watching at home, and of course, a lot of the proceedings you will have missed. Everybody's been here in this building watching what's going on. So for those of you that have been out enjoying the celebrations, I will now recap on what has happened. Well, first of all, His Royal Highness arrived in a car, like that, that's it. He got out the car and he met everyone. And then sort of wandered in here and did a poem. Very nice. And but I don't think with an equity card, do you? And then the dancers came on and they sort of... they did all this. Then they came over here. Oh! So I've got hold of it. Don't worry, you're fine. You're fine. That's it, laugh. The monarchy's about to fall and you're laughing. Thank you very much. Hello? Hey! I've got a little suggestion for you. See ya. Find the biggest one, chuck them over. Sorry, guys. So a little accident happened. I came over here and the curtain fell. But it's, don't panic. Don't worry about it. I've sorted it out. It's fine. Then the next bit that happened, we had the ballet. And we had plié, dégagé, grand plié, It started with a kiss. A releve. Then we had plié, dégagé, grand plié, releve. Thank you, Vanessa. It's a little bit of the sets up here. This bit here. You know? This bit. Would you mind crossing your legs, please, madam? Well, I'm trying to work up here. We're very near the rivers. A lot of ships go past now. Get 'em. Get you for this, Vera. I suppose I'll get the blame for this now. Now I'm in trouble. I really am. You got trouble! Right here in River City. With a capital T and that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. Oh, we surely got trouble. Right here in River City. Gotta figure out a way to keep the young ones moral after school. Our children gonna have trouble. Oh, we got trouble. Yes, we're in terrible trouble. That game with the 15 number balls is the devil's tool. Oh, yes, we got trouble. Yes, we got trouble here. We got big trouble with a T. Gotta rhyme with P. And that stands for pool. Say now, friends, let me tell you what I mean. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets in the table. Pockets that mark the difference between a gentleman and a bum with a capital B and that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. And all week long, your River City used to be frittering away. I say your young men will be frittering. Frittering away the noontime, tour time, summertime too. Get the ball in the pocket, never mind getting dandelions full or the screen door patch or the beefsteak pounded. Never mind pumping any water till your parents are called with the cistern empty on one fine night. They leave the pool hall, headed for the dance of the Amrit, Liberty men, scarlet women, ragtime, shameless music that'll drag your son and your daughter to the arms of a jungle animalistic, mass hysteria, friends, the idle brain is the devil's playground. You got trouble. Right here in River City. Right here in River City. That game with the 15 number balls is the devil's tool. The devil's tool. Oh, yes, we got trouble. Yes, we got trouble here. We got big trouble with the T. Gotta rhyme with P. No more trouble with the River City band. Just listen to the plan. They're the best in the land. A man to be a fool, lose the money, paying fool. Everybody gotta strike out the band. Trouble. Wrap it up and charge it, that's my favorite phrase. Ooh, how lucky can you get? When I see the chauffeur, think I'll give him a raise. Whoa, how lucky can you get? Weekends in the country with a bird of coals and a water tooth shop, Mrs. Astor's pet wolf, making merry music with the one that I love. We're a perfect duet. Gee, how lucky can you? Wee, how lucky can you? Wow, how lucky can you get? a hand this very hand. Please observe me if you will. I'm Professor Harold Hill, and I'm here to organize a River City Boys Band. Oh, a band will do it, my friends. You hear me? A boys band. I said River City gotta have a boys band, and I mean she needs it today. With Professor Harold Hill on hand, River City gotta have a boys band. Sure as the Lord made little green apples, the band's gonna be in uniform. Johnny, Willie, Teddy, Fred. You'll see the glitter of crashing cymbals, and you'll hear the thunder of rolling drums, the shimmer of trumpets. Ra-ta-da! And you'll feel something akin to the electric thrill I once enjoyed when Gilmore, Liberac, Pat Conway, W.C. Handy, and John Philip Sousa all came to town on the very same historic day. 76 trombones led the big parade, with 110 cornets right behind. There were more than 1,000 reeds springing up like breeze. There were horns of every shape and kind. There were 50 mounted cannon in the battery, thundering, thundering louder than before. Clarinets of every size and trumpeters who'd improvise a full octave higher than the score.
When the nation lose their war sense and the world gets back its horse sense, what a day for celebration that will be. When somebody says the fight's up and it's time to put the lights up, then the first one to be lit up will be me. We're gonna get lit up when the lights go up in London. We're gonna get lit up as we've never been before. You will find me on the Times. You will find me wreathed in smiles. I'm gonna get so lit up I'll be visible for miles. The city will sit up when the lights go up in London. We'll all be lit up as the Strand was, only more, much more. And before the party's played out, they're gonna fetch the fire brigade out to the littest of the scene you ever saw. The city will sit up when the lights go up in London. We'll all be lit up as the Strand was, only more, much more. And before this party's played out, we're gonna fetch the fire brigade out to the latest office scene you ever saw.
And after that magnificent performance from Michael Barrymore, we've come very nearly to the end of Live for Peace. It was St. Augustine who first said, "The purpose of all war is peace."
And it was in World War II that President Truman said, "Our goal must be not peace in our time, but peace for all time."
And that is our closing prayer for all people that on earth do dwell.